Good day, everybody. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're tuning in from. We're back, like Black Game Pro Sessions episode number. I don't remember. I think it's 14 already. We've been having fun since September. First and foremost, to everybody who keeps showing up, supporting, commenting, sharing, I see you. You're appreciated. You're the reason why this platform continues to grow. It's super cool. And to those who joining for the first time and who are like, what is this? Who's this dude in this pink shirt? Hey, I'm Leon. This is Black Game Pro Sessions, a curated conversation platform really focusing on spotlighting Black excellence across gaming, tech, media, and culture through real, long-form, unfiltered dialogue. And I love this part every time. I already mentioned it earlier, but we have people from all over the world, from Europe, the US, Africa, Caribbean, and beyond, tuning in. Different time zones, different industries, same commitment. Growth in culture, that's global energy that really matters. Anywho, today's guest, let's dive right into it. That's what matters. She describes herself on her website as filmmaker, game maker, doctoral candidate. iAsia Brown crafts artistic storytelling experiences that honor cultures with rich traditions and empower diverse and disenfranchised voices to take control of their own narratives. As an executive director, senior producer in gaming, filmmaker driven by authentic stories, and a doctoral researcher exploring video games and tools for social and emotional learning, she creates at the intersection of storytelling, technology, and education. She builds with intention, she creates with purpose, and she understands that narrative is power. And with a book coming spring 2026, I hope so, I'm going to talk about that, her voice and impact are only expanding. So today we're really diving into the journey, the craft, the leadership, the responsibilities that come with shaping stories in this industry. So please join me in welcoming the legendary iAsia Brown.
Hola.
Hola. ¿Qué tal?
Buenos dias, Leon. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. How about yourself?
I cannot complain. It's interesting. You pulled that from my website, huh?
I did. I did my research.
I like your opening screen where it's like Ubisoft has nothing to do with what you got going on. It may inform some of your perspective, but it's not. I like that.
It's important. I mean, I've been at Ubisoft for almost 20 years, and I'm an industry person. I'm a corporate guy. At the same time, this platform is completely separate from Ubisoft in that sense.
See, and I think after 20 years in the military, I think that being in the military for so long informs my perspective. Of course, and being from New York informs my perspective, but it doesn't control how my thoughts are, like my positionality and epistemology. Like, I understand the difference in what informs and then what I'm directly responsible for. I like that. I dig that.
I think it's important to make it clear. This is a free platform. That's also why the people that I invite, like yourself, we're here to have conversations, and we can speak on anything without the restrictions of thinking of corporate stuff. I mean, I'm not going to burn down my employer because there's no reason for that. But it's free conversations.
Right on.
And here we are.
For having me. I appreciate you for having me. Thank you.
I appreciate you for being here. The cool thing is that before, I think up until like a few months ago, to me you were invisible, and I think that's also how you like it.
Yes.
And then I was talking to Keisha Howard from Sugar Gamers, who mentioned your name. I was like, let me do the Googles. And what I saw was, it was so impressive. Like, how is it possible that I don't know you?
Love Keisha Howard. Yeah, I like to hide in plain sight. It's the military. I love to hide in plain sight.
And you have been hiding quite well. But today is your day. Today is your platform. Today we're going to celebrate you.
I appreciate you. All right, let's get into it.
Yep. So first and foremost, you've done a lot of interviews for people that want to search online about like the history and what brought her to where she is. Asia, go Google, it's fine. But I did want to ask you. I do want to ask you actually, what was the moment in your life that you fell in love with gaming? That you saw that as as an option, as a way.
So those are two different questions for me,
I know.
right? I
Yeah.
fell in love. I got you though. So I fell in love with gaming as a kid. You know, enter. I think my dad had an Atari. Me and my dad were very close in age. He was
Mhm.
a teen dad. Played his games. Nintendo came out, and I was stuck. Like to have a Nintendo to play the first Mario, to play Pitfall, to play any of the OG games. It was just futuristic at its time.
Mhm.
Fell in love with it. And when I joined the military, I didn't realize how much games would now become a part of my life. So I served during a time during Don't Ask, Don't Tell, 10 years straight down the middle. And Skype came on board right around that time.
Mhm.
So I'm on deployment. And Don't Ask, Don't Tell was kind of ruthless because someone could just say they thought you were gay and you would get kicked out. And like, I knew from a kid I wanted to serve. I knew I wanted to be in the military. I knew it was a part of my path. So
Mhm.
I never, like, I didn't want to get kicked out because I joined at 17. What are you doing between 17 and 25? Making hearts, breaking hearts, figuring out who you are, and
Figuring it out. Yep, for sure.
you're figuring it out.
Yeah.
So for me, while everyone else was on Skype, talking back home to their loved ones, I'm on a headset with a controller. Like, I miss you. Like, and that became because no one could know who I was talking to on the other end of the avatar.
Mhm.
So
True.
that became my safe space. And huge Final Fantasy player, huge Final Fantasy player. My Final Fantasy community has been amazing. And my 2011, 2010 deployment, I deployed on my daughter's first birthday. Don't Ask, Don't Tell still hadn't been repealed yet. And my I come online and like my whole gaming community, like everybody's online. I'm like, everybody's here today. What's up? And they're like, hey, iAsia, are you okay?
Mhm.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Why? And they're like, no, it's okay. It's okay not to be okay. Like, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm
Good.
good. Like, let's get to it. And someone puts in the chat, hey, she doesn't know. And I'm like, what don't I know?
What? Exactly.
The girl I had been dating, my fiance at the time, committed suicide. And nobody would tell me
Oh my
because I was in the
God.
military, Why would they tell why would they tell me? There was no reason for them to tell me. And I couldn't tell anybody and be like, hey, I want to go home. I want to go to the funeral because now I'm getting kicked out for being gay. So I'm like sitting on this ship, holding my controller, like trying to keep it together. And like my community spent hours with me. Like they took me in shifts because I would just sit there in like nothingness. And that's how I got through the rest of that deployment. It was my gaming community. It was when I wasn't actively participating in things that the Marine Corps required me to do and be present for, I was attached to my headset because that's where the people who could see me saw me
Mhm.
and could help me carry my hurt, my pain. So, and from then on, I knew like games were a part of the DNA.
Mhm. Yeah, I understand. So, I mean, you said it in interviews before that gaming saved your life.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I totally understand.
I,
I mean, but I mean, so when you were going through that and you were using games as a form of escapism or a way to deal with the grief, deal with everything that was going on, sure, it anchored itself in your DNA. It's like, yeah, gaming is important for me. But what made you decide, like, no, I want to do something with this? And what makes you see the power in gaming that could help other people as well?
I mean, when you have several deployments under your belt and you see what happens when you leave, what's called the wire, when you leave the base to go do missions, and then when you come back behind the wire, the first thing everybody did was they would hop on a console,
Hmm.
and we would kind of just people would
Decompress.
reconnect with their kids. People would, just try to be feel human again in the moment. they would try to go back to that childlike feeling of happiness, of joy,
Hmm.
because in the midst of, I mean, 2001, 2, 3, that was all chaos. Like it was chaos. The initial invasion, like it was just chaos. So to create pockets of peace with people, we're all babies. When
Hmm.
I had this realization like 2 weeks ago. I was looking at my daughter and I was like, yo, she'll be the same age in 5 months that I was when I joined the military. And I'm looking at her like she's a baby. And I'm like, was I that young? Like,
Hmm.
what?
It's a mirror, right? Yep.
But, but that's what we were doing. I had to do my leadership philosophy for class. So I told my daughter, I was like, hey, why don't you wear my first pair of camis? And I wear the pair that I retired in. And I'm looking at her through this mirror and I'm like,
Oh wow, it must have been a powerful moment.
oh man, I've never fathomed that moment until I had that moment. And I was like, yeah. So
That's yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, I mean, I wanted to dig a little deeper in what you kind of already touched on, and we had a conversation prior to going live that about play, and indeed
mhm.
how play is essential.
play, play
Play is
everyone that
key.
knows me knows that for me, in iAsia's opinion, play is the number one language. It's the first language of all species, not
Hmm.
people, species. I don't care if you're a dolphin, a turtle, everything plays. And you learn through when you see
Play.
baby animals, they are having the time of their life playing. And then what happens? Their parents teach them and guide them along the way. As children, you play and your parents teach you and guide. Like somewhere along the line, people forget to just play. Like just remember, like
Life
you're
gets in the
human.
way. Life gets in the way, and
I
it's
don't
it's
know if life gets in the way or do we like no matter what, the end result is the same for everybody.
what, depression. I'm sorry. I'm very dark. And good morning.
Uh, but I will say, like, just maintaining some type of joy or being able to find your way back to joy. And I
Mm,
think that's why games are so important. That's why I love that you have organizations like Xbox, like PlayStation that send consoles forward deployed to troops because getting back to play after you're trying to make sense of your conditions, you're away from home, you're homesick, and being able to still have those touch points, that's so important. It's so important.
oh yeah, 100%. You know, play is play is a universal, I don't know, almost medicine kind of thing that that can heal. And it's interesting because even working in the industry, and especially even working in the gaming industry, people tend to forget because you see it as a product. Gaming is a
Mhm.
product, but no, it's so much more. And we forget. I mean, thank you for sharing the story, which is super obvious. You need people meet in communities and talk and process. But hearing that is valuable because as a corporate person, you can forget because it's just a product. It's just it's just a game that people play. So when you're intentional about what you're doing and intentional about okay, you have this product that can help. That's the powerful thing.
That's why I decided to focus my research there. Honestly,
You
just
got the segue. Thank you.
but no, that's literally actually that just naturally happened for me. That's why I decided to focus my research there. I wanted
Mhm.
to be outside of just I didn't want to get a doctorate to get a doctorate. I wanted to get my doctorate in education because I love video games. I love it as a tool for education and something you said earlier for healing. I love it as a tool for healing. And one of the people who I met via email maybe 3 years ago when I first started my doctoral journey, I was in London sitting down talking to I think I was talking to Liam Wong,
Mhm.
phenomenal creative director. If you don't know him, his work is amazing. And I was talking about the game Unpacking, and I was like, you know what? There are games that will literally help you heal yourself if it's used as a tool. And he was like, oh, I know the creative director of that game. He said, what do you mean healing? And I'm like, well, when we started coming back from deployment, one of one of the more senior people who loved the game Unpacking was like, everybody sit down. And we went through like he pulled up Unpacking and we were in there like as a group. There's probably about 15 of us and we started the game from the beginning. And we
Yeah.
all talked about the different, and unpacking is just a game about unpacking boxes. Literally, you're just going from your crib to your childhood room to your kid room, teenage room, adult room, and you're just unpacking boxes. And we're going through and we're unpacking boxes. But we named it, we labeled it some of the military things, right? Like what got you, what in your childhood led you up to get to this point? And we're going
Mhm.
through just unpacking boxes. And then somewhere in the game, you get stuck and you cannot move forward. And he's like, this is our crossroads right now, uh, coming back from deployment. He's like, what are you still holding that you haven't been able to process? He's like, what box is it in? And then like we started going through and unpacking the boxes of the things that we saw, how we felt being alone, like the nostalgia, like all the things. And that's when I was like, huh. And then it took me back to like my Final Fantasy community and how just
Yep.
being in community, even though I love being a Marine, love being a Marine. I'm a Marine's Marine all
Mhm.
day. But there is something different because of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. They could only see the parts of me I allowed them to see. My gaming community could see all the parts of me. And like that's
That's
it's different. It's different. And I had to be able to unpack that. Because transitioning out of the military, you do 20 years in any organization, when you leave it, especially when, I've been called by my last name and my rank
yep.
for so long. Since I was a baby, since I was 17, joined at
Mhm.
17. And then as I was meritoriously promoted all through the Marine Corps. Like that's can't miss it. It comes with a certain level of how people treat you, how people know how to interact with you. And then one day you just wake up and it's like, huh, I'm iAsia.
Yep.
And what saved me was because I played video games, I always had a community that knew me. So I was like, hey, what
That's
do I
what it
do now? Like, what do I do now? Because learning to untether from who I was told I was, and then trying to untether from the uniform, trying to
is.
untether from the responsibilities of being a senior enlisted leader in the military, trying to untether from whose mom am I, like all these little identities that I held on to. And it's like, well, who's Asia? And who is Asia at her core? What is Asia like? What is Asia's hobbies? And that
Mhm.
journey back to self, a lot of it came through unpacking. A lot of it came through just playing this game. And literally I was doing exercises with myself, like, okay, I was in foster care at one point. Huh. I have teenage parents. Like, and I went back and just kept going, kept going, and kept
Mhm.
going. I really started to break down what informed me. And I was like, yo, games are so powerful. And I get it. Creativity and capitalism are like enemies in the same house.
It's like a toxic relationship indeed.
It's toxic loop.
Oh yeah. It's super interesting though because indeed the power of games sometimes gets forgotten both by the people that make the games, especially from a corporate perspective, as well as the people that play the games. Because indeed, the games can be so much more than just pure entertainment. They are. They cannot be. They actually are. They are so much more. So, how did you, when once you transition from military into corporate world, how did you apply that knowledge and that kind of that drive?
I decided, I literally came to work one day. I was like, I'm going to leave the Marine Corps and go to Microsoft. And you can't talk to like your active duty friends about transitioning because they've never done it. All they've known is the military. So they're like, no, you're not. I'm like, there's not, I don't really say things that I'm not going to do. I just do them. Like,
Hmm.
so I found a program. It's called MSSA, the Microsoft Military Software and Systems Academy. And I applied to it because it guaranteed me one interview with someone at Microsoft. And I said, I just need one shot to get in front of someone, have a
Yeah.
conversation. Let's do it. Did it. Obviously, ended up at Microsoft. Was in engineering. Was in first I was in Azure engineering, and then I was in Intune engineering. Then I went over to Azure, and I just learned like, huh, this cloud is interesting. And then I started studying AWS's cloud and GCP's cloud. I'm like, yo, Azure could be so much better if we made it better through games and games better through cloud. So I did up a PowerPoint, sent it to my CVP and Phil Spencer at the time,
Hmm.
and I made a suggestion like, hey, can we migrate uh, Minecraft to Azure, and we ended up picking Minecraft Realms, one of the biggest games. I think it's like 1.25 million users daily, crazy number. And we did it, and it was successful, and it became the playbook for future migrations. But I was like, I don't just want to be a part of being in the engineering of the games. I want to be on the creative side, because those that
Mhm.
don't know, super creative. I paint, I do murals, I
So yeah, sorry to jump on
I
that
make
side.
films.
I,
I
I,
just
I was I was watching this video from Microsoft featuring you, where you were taking them through your gallery. So tell me about that Prince painting, please. Number two pencil on a purple blanket or something.
That's a number two pencil on a bed sheet.
That
I
sheet,
was
sorry.
so
So
I
sorry,
have
people that are listening. They're like, "What the hell is he talking about?" Watch the Microsoft video. It's a very cool video.
don't watch the Microsoft video. It's so getting once I've only been painting for probably about 7 8 years now. Once I got out the military is when I really started getting into my craft, and I didn't realize that I could. So hi Mark from London. Um, but it was I would close my eyes and just pencil on.
Mhm.
And then when I got done, because I would be reliving like some of my experiences and just processing my experiences. And when I got done, it was Prince. And I was like, oh, because Purple Rain is like my sad song. You hear me playing Purple Rain, you know I'm sad about something. So, and then I went over it with some purple oil, and it went up for auction at Microsoft. And someone bought it. It was really nice.
That's dope.
I try to make sure my art is used, one, for charity,
Mhm.
or I do like memorial pieces. I don't want to just create to create. I don't want to create to make it a job. I love that. It's what I love to do, but I never want to become a I don't want to be a manufacturer of art. I'm not mass producing art for the people. I'm creating meaningful and impactful pieces for the moment, and then
Mhm.
I'm letting it go.
That's beautiful. I mean, it's also a good. I mean, did you mean you started doing art during your healing process, or was that afterwards?
I mean, I just had the time afterward. I had nothing but time to, when you have time to just sit and think and be like, huh, well, what do I want to do? What am I good at? And as I started thinking about and reflecting on like my military career, I would have like a stack of papers and I would be drawing. And then when I would put all the pictures and lay them next to one another, it'd be a full-on painting. I'd be like, oh, huh. And then
Mhm.
I would continue to do that. And my art got better. I've progressed, and it's been amazing, really. But I love that I do it as a choice and not as like I have to do it because I have to do it.
It's cool though. I always admire people that can put actual art to paper. It's I wish I could. I wish I could.
I'll put it on. I will put art on anything. If you
Apparently
leave
you
me,
do.
if I was not in this Airbnb, it would,
These white walls would have been taken
these
care of.
white walls would have been painted. Yeah. So you know what? I'm gonna have to bring you back in about 2 months when I move into my new space, so you can
Mhm.
see what I've done with the walls. I decorate everything,
Oh, we'd love to see.
everything. I hand paint everything. I create custom borders. I make things look like picture frame. It's crazy. I have a whole vision of just different pieces of how I want my house to look now.
So you're the uber creative person.
I mean,
How, would-
I
how,
can't
how would you how
you
would you
can't
describe it?
die
You,
with
you
it.
call yourself Tech Picasso, so
I,
you're quite creative. I assume then.
I
You see,
describe myself as the coolest nerd you'll ever meet because I'm a
you're
nerd.
you're quite cool. Yeah,
I see.
you're okay. Not too bad.
Thanks, Leaf. Thanks.
I got you.
I would say I want. I think I want this for everybody, right? I want people to
Mhm.
continue to play. I want people to continue to create. When capitalism gets in the way, or when money gets in the way, when deadlines get in the way, it it kind of changes the creativity, because now you understand you're not creating for self. And I always want to create for self before I create for anybody else. Before I
Mhm.
create for anybody else, I want to create for self. Now it's different when I'm in a corporate structure. I'm in an environment, of course. I'm working as a producer, and you got deadlines, and I'm on you. Like the milestone, we don't miss milestones around these here parts.
But it's cool what you said, like creating for self. I mean, even in corporate life, I mean, if I can echo what you just mentioned, I mean, I create for self. I create events that I would love to attend. Like if I would think it's cool, then maybe the community would think it's cool too. And so far, I mean, that seems to work. Instead of trying
Literally.
to project and think about what people might like, no, creating a story or creating an event, what would you like? Is it a good story? Is it a good event? Then it translates. Maybe.
Heavy on the maybe.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
sometimes, every now and then, occasionally.
I see in the chat. Kimberly says,
Oh yeah,
am I hearing
that's
housewarming
blowing up.
invites in the future? Yes. So I want to take like a whole moment to acknowledge Kimberly Bush, though, because
Yep. Let me.
when I talk about the
Yep.
people who influenced me, I have the very unique experience of, and I don't know any other Marines. Female Marines. This has happened for. From the time I was in recruit training until the time, maybe 2 years before I left the Marine Corps, I had nothing but senior Black woman leadership. So Kimberly Bush was my sergeant major when I got to my first base.
Mm-hmm.
I had nothing. And as a young woman who grew up without a mom, having that was the difference. It was the absolute difference in my trajectory, in my career, because I always had a Black woman who had their hand on my neck, like, now Brown.
It's like role model and somewhat parenting kind of,
I got parented, but I also got to see what I could be.
Yeah, but it's so
I mean, I've had some amazing. Sorry, Major Donna. I had some amazing.
shout them out. Yeah, shout them out. I mean, by all means.
Let's see. Recruit training. I had Robin Brown.
Mm-hmm.
I had First Sergeant Horn. Then I got to my first base. I had First Sergeant Crutcher. I had Sergeant Major Bush. I had Sergeant Major Cook. I've just had some phenomenal leadership that looked like me. That's Sergeant Major Fortner. Robin Fortner was the first Marine I had ever seen in my entire life. I was 8 years old and I was at the corner store in Jamaica, Queens. And she had just come home from boot camp because she was in her little green suit. And I was like, what is that? And my dad was like, that's just Robin. And I'm like, and I never forgot like seeing her. And then fast forward, I'm like 12 years into my, like 10 years into my military career. And I see her and I'm like, excuse me, Sergeant Major, you from Southside Jamaica, Queens? And I went out my way because I saw her in a video and I was like, I know this person. I went out my way to go find her. And ever since, I mean, I've had her in my life since. Like I've had some phenomenal leaders. Not to say that anybody else was not a phenomenal leader that I had, because I've had amazing leaders. Like, hey, Almost. I see Almost in the chat. Like there, but when you get to see yourself, like,
it's so important.
I know there is a young Hispanic man right now serving as he's the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps, is a phenomenal Hispanic man. Like when you get to see it, it just actualizes differently for you. Just even in games.
But that's thank you for touching on that. I mean, that's also why I wanted to build this platform. People seeing someone like you, it's important. People seeing amazing profiles like Gordon or Ryan or Kimberly. It's important, because if you can see yourself, it opens up so many doors of opportunity and possibility. Because gaming is more than just, as you probably, I don't have to explain it to you, but gaming is more than just people that play games. It's an entire industry where you can create a career any way that you want. You don't have to be a programmer. I don't know how to program a game. I wish I could. But, I'm just an event guy. I can talk well sometimes.
Fair.
Yeah.
I tell people, even if you can't see yourself in me, I'm gonna be the person. I'm gonna be a hype man. I'm gonna do it. Jump out the window. Just jump. Who cares where you land?
All right, here we go. Like, I'll take the camera with me. I'll show you what it's like. 3 stories.
Yeah, literally. I tell everybody, just do it. I am the eternal hype man. You cannot call me to get talked out of anything. Nothing. Because I will double down on your audacity and be like, all right, let's do it. Let's plan for it. Well, what if I fail? What if you fly? Cool. Fail fast. All right, cool. Oh, yeah. What if you fail? So what? You tried.
Oh yeah. I mean, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah, so I'm just ecstatic to be in the position to just not only live my dream, use video games as the educational tool that I know it can be, help people along the way. Really, I focus now. I don't know how I ended up in this, maybe because I'm a parent now. I find myself really helping parents
Hmm.
I tell parents all the time, you get to choose. You can be your child's on ramp or your child's obstacle. Because there are parents that are like, I'm not letting my kids play video games. Why? Do you know how many of us, every
Because we
time
don't
we pack a
understand.
car, every time you pack a car, I think of
Hmm.
Tetris. I'd be like, I learned
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
I know how I
exactly.
learned this.
No,
I
but
learned
that's
that skill somewhere.
but I mean, it's great that you do that because it's education. I mean, these parents, these parents, I mean, they didn't grow up with a controller in their hand, so they don't per se have that connection with gaming being also good for education, being also good for other things than just entertainment. And the fact that you educate them or help them see that is a noble thing. It's a great thing.
Respectfully, I think I have a different opinion. I think these parents grew up with controllers because they came from the generation of what they grew up with were parents that told them that it's brain rot or that you're not going to
Fair
do
enough.
anything. Oh, you're just going to be in the basement getting fat and eating chips. Like there was nothing positive connected to using your imagination. There was
Mm,
nothing positive. They didn't see it. Like
hmm.
everybody was focused on getting to the gold and no one paid attention to the shovel. Like for me, the video game is the shovel. That's where you learn to expand your ideas, where you learn to, like what are the different ways I can think about. You learn to critically think.
Oh
Play
yeah.
Elder Scrolls if you're glutton for pain. Like just
Oh yeah. I couldn't deal with that kind of pain, man. I
no,
played it for 15 minutes. I was like, nope,
but there are
nope.
people who are
Forget it.
like you. It's just when your people cannot see past who they are when they see you. So if someone else is talking to you and they're limited and they're like, "Oh, that's just a waste of time." Well, it's your time.
Yeah.
You get to choose what you want to do at that time. If I want to learn, there's a lighting specialist somewhere that does lighting better than anybody else because they took the time to master their craft. And you
Hmm.
know what? They're in high demand.
Oh
Every
yeah.
time an open world game comes, someone's calling them to come fix our blooms. So being able to like really look at the entire ecosystem of gaming and say, where do I belong? Oh, I'm just a finance guy. Good. Have you seen the P&Ls and the budgets on these things? We need you.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm
But
just a lawyer.
yeah,
Cool. You see
but
these?
a lot of times, exactly. But a lot of times, these people they don't have that ecosystem in their mind. They just see their little slice of the pie, whatever that
Yeah.
pie is, and it needs people like yourself, great leaders that can zoom out and have that bird's eye view. Like, no, actually, it's all connected.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this and now the scary thing for the parents is AI. They're like, I don't want my child to touch AI. And I'm like, why?
You should. I mean, you should educate them on AI. It's
You
so
should educate
important.
yourself on
Oh yeah,
AI
first and
because
foremost, of course.
the world that the world that they're growing up in doesn't exist for you. And
Hmm.
if you don't allow them to learn alongside their peers, they will end up behind.
Yep.
Like, and I'm super morbid. I'll be telling parents like, "Yo, if you died today, your kids are not prepared. They're not equipped to be in this world because you haven't taught them anything out of fear." Like,
Hmm.
so
Is it fear or is it ignorance or is it both?
a little bit of both. I
Hmm.
believe that parents were their teacher and how it empowers them while changing their mindsets. Absolutely, it benefits kids who are gamers. Absolutely, absolutely. You want to start teaching your children pro-social behavior? Have them play pro-social games. You want
Exactly.
to teach them self-management, self-reliance, self-awareness. There are so many unaware adults in this world. Can we
Hmm.
start to hone that as children? And you can see that as children. If you've ever spent time around children, you can tell which children are self-aware, which ones aren't. How do we
Hmm.
start to cultivate that? What games can we play to bring those out?
Yeah. That's. I mean, I'm hearing all kind of different angles that I could jump on, but I know then we're going to have another 2 hour conversation, which would be great. But I'm also very conscious of your time. But I couldn't agree with you more. I think that man, there's the power of gaming is sometimes is underestimated or not even known. They just see it as a form of entertainment and it's throwaway entertainment. But if you really manage to bundle that power and do something good with that, you can change the world. I mean, you can change the world, but you can change a person's life. You can make a good impact. And if you educate yourself as a parent or as a educator with the new media that you have, AI games, it's a superpower. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I'm rambling. I'm going
No, no, no.
to
I
tangent
think
here.
you can change the world with games.
Hmm.
So one of the the studios that I invested in early was Kiro Games. And I have like a very strict investment thesis, right? There are things that you have to have in place or I will not. You have to have women leaders. You have to have women in roles. You have to have, I need to be able to see women on your staff because if it's,
Hmm.
how are you, 54% of gamers are women. So how are you creating things for women and you have no women helping inform the product? So going to Africa and finding a studio that was willing to train and upscale women was so important to me. And when I
Hmm.
found one, I was like, this is dope because it wasn't common at the time. But that
I mean,
changes an economy.
I mean, it's all about. I mean, it's also about representation and having the right people. I mean, I know that you've said in interviews, you spoke about how in a room of right-handed people, it's easy to forget about left-handed people, and I really think it's a very clear analogy
Yes.
on why representation matters, not just in our industry, but broadly speaking. Can you
Yeah.
elaborate on that? And then we're going to go into your fund, your investment in Africa, in African
I,
studios.
I got you. So there's a woman at Microsoft engineer. Her name is Michelle Swan Renee. And when I first met her engineering director, met her, I noticed she was left-handed, right? And I
Hmm.
didn't say anything. It was cool. But we go out to dinner that night, every time you go somewhere, you got to have a team dinner. I'd be trying to leave. They'd be like, team dinner. I'd be like, I just want to go
I
play
know the
my
feeling.
game. So we get to the restaurant and I'm like, hey, Renee, you want to go in first? And she's like, why? I said, because you're left-handed. So you don't have to be like this. And she like paused and she was like, you noticed. I was like, yeah, like you should be comfortable eating. So have at it.
Hmm.
But it's like the small things that you can do, and
Yeah.
you don't have to change your life to accommodate somebody. You can just sit at a different part of the table because it'll make their experience more enjoyable. It doesn't take anything away from me to put the left-handed person on the end. Like, go for it.
Yeah.
But
It's all
it's
about
stuff like that.
awareness and recognizing it. Yeah.
That's why I never understood. Like there are people who makes slides in blue and red, and I'm like, the colorblind people can't see this at all, right?
Hmm.
You're gonna put some words on it, prompt anything to help the accessibility of this. And people, I found that originally there was pushback with accessibility until people realized accessibility is kind of a cheat code to let everybody in. And now my documents can read themselves to me, and I'm like, oh, this is lovely. I could be on the treadmill, and the PDF is just reading itself, right?
It's an amazing thing. Yes.
Yeah, because now accessibility is an amenity.
Hmm.
it,
Yeah.
so I just I try to build things and I try to do things as inclusively as possible because I want everybody to enjoy it. And
Hmm.
when someone can't enjoy it, I try to figure out a way. I was at a basketball. I was at a USC women's basketball game, and I gave out a bunch of Xboxes that night. And one of the
Wow,
guys,
that was your
Mike,
Oprah moment. Oh my God, you get an
yeah,
Xbox.
you get an Xbox. Yeah. But I love introducing gaming to people who haven't had the experience and
Yeah, same here.
the proximity to it. One of the guys, Michael, he got an Xbox, and afterwards, I go over to him and I hug him and I say, "Hey, I'm happy for you." And I realize he's deaf, so I just automatically start signing, "Hi, my name is iAsia," and he was like shocked, and it's like it
Yeah.
takes 2 seconds to figure out how to spell your name in sign language and practice it, so that way, meet people where they are. And I love
Yeah.
games because you'll meet a person right where they are in the game.
Oh yeah.
Play
Games.
Fortnite with a beginner, you'll know.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, and at the same time, games are like the great equalizer because indeed it puts everybody in the playing field, literally.
hmm I say that about technology in general. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure, and especially now with AI. With
Oh yeah.
AI, you do not have an excuse anymore. I mean, I remember when I used to produce like a show like Ubisoft Forward, and we had to do the localization. Localization
Mm-hmm.
was and I always insisted, no, we need to have ASL, we need to have proper localization because indeed, like you said, as many people as possible need to be able to
Mm-hmm.
ingest this information. And I remember how much time back and forth and money that always took
Mm-hmm.
in order to make it happen. Now it's instantaneous. You
Mm-hmm.
can just use an API and add that to your stream, which I'm not doing here because I don't want to do that, but I'll maybe in the future. And it automatically translates it for
Mm-hmm.
anybody, which is amazing. The tools that you have nowadays are nobody has an excuse anymore. Same thing with a lot of people talk the talk but they don't walk the walk. It's like no,
I
it's like
agree.
for example, here with me, I mean, I was like, I want to do something that uplifts amazing stories from people in our industry doing amazing things. I could talk about it, philosophize about it, or be about it and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Go to StreamYard, build a platform, do these things, set up these calls, and have a great conversation. And I think it's that's AI helped me do that.
I mean,
Anyway,
half the battle
ramble.
like half the battle was you deciding to execute, like, and you will learn everything you need to learn in time.
Oh yeah,
right? This platform might be completely built out as a full-on production in 3 years, but
mm-hmm.
you know exactly where you started, and you're like, all right, now I can add this. Now I want to add this. Now I can add this, and I love it for you because
Yeah,
you
man.
didn't have to do this. It was a choice that you consciously made, especially in a time where, it says Black Game Pros. At a time where, and it probably helps that you're not in America, because in America right now, it's a different relationship with the word.
Oh, that is, I understand. I mean, I think I have the obligation to do something. Not even an obligation, because that feels like something I have to do it. Like it's like something that, when I started in the industry, I was one of the, at least for as far as I knew, I was one of the few people, Black folks working in the industry, especially in Europe. I didn't see many people that looked like me. So the representation and seeing people that are already on that level wasn't there. And that's what I want to create with this platform. It's like, no, to show people, like, no, there's people like iAsia out there that have been doing amazing things and creating stories and educating people. It's amazing. It's great.
I be trying to hide. I do. I be trying to hide.
But we find you. We find you, and
I blame
we'll
Keisha Howard. I blame Keisha. I was hiding until Keisha Howard started talking.
I mean, she was in the chat. I mean, she's appreciating all the nuggets that you're dropping. So yeah, let's put her comment back up here. Speaking of changing the world with gaming, kind of like a weird throwback to what we said earlier. Your foundation. You're investing in Africa in studios. How did that start? First and foremost, how do you start something like that? Where do you begin?
So I got invited to do a talk in Belgium. So I went.
Belgium of all places.
Ended up in Belgium, and took my daughter with me to that trip. We did Belgium, we did Paris, and I was on stage with a couple of founders from. I was with Olivier Madiba from Kiro Games.
Yep.
And then, what's his name? Etrian. What's his last name? Hold on. It starts with an E. Iram. Taiwa.
I don't remember. I believe you.
It's Iram. What? He's from Letty Arts.
Letty Arts?
Studio Letty Arts in Ghana. Right? Okay. And I was listening to what they were building. And I just asked the question, do y'all have any women who work for you?
Mm-hmm.
And it was yes. I said, what are your plans? And I just started asking questions. And I was like, well, what do you need? And the biggest obstacle is always funding. I said, okay, well, let's have a conversation. And it just started with one investment that led to another investment, that led to another investment, that led to some other investments. And then now, this year, Angela and I, because I dragged my good friend Angela on my little side quest of investing in studios in Africa. We went to South Africa for Africa Games Week. Next year, we'll follow it up with Lagos. But it was like, there's a whole, and I think this week we finally cracked the code on monetization. So I can't disclose it publicly yet, but I definitely
that indeed is a problem.
I definitely think we cracked the code.
That's great.
Definitely think we cracked the code. So like it was like, well, what impact do I want to create? Obviously, I wanted to help my friends. When Keisha Howard was putting her game before she shipped Mindfall, I was like, what do you need? She was like, I need funding, player. And I was like, all right, cool. Got you. But it's really about helping the community move forward, because it's important to make things. But Keisha was dead set on shipping her game. And I'm like, okay, let's do that. And you know what? The game has shipped. It's live. It's alive. It's a real thing. And now
she's downplaying it, right? She's like, yeah, it's just it. And I'm like, no, it's a game. You released a game just now. That's a major thing that you just did. And she's downplaying it. Like, it's just a little product.
Africamicade is another one. Okay, bet. I will put that on my radar.
Is another one. Lagos Games Week is another one as well. Speaking of which, I have the one of the founders of Lagos Games Week next week in Black Game Pro Sessions to talk about what's happening in Nigeria
Oh,
in
I'm gonna be
gaming.
here. I'll be
Oh, perfect.
I'll be very much tuned in. But
But I
that's
mean,
but
but how
this
do
is
you?
the
But how do you?
ecosystem.
But how do you start that? I mean, the fact that you're funding people and that you in the Belgian part I get, but where do you get the capital? Is that personal capital, or do you get, do you work with people?
Personal personal capital. I
Oh, wow.
I'd made really great decisions in the military. I saved and I invested very, very well.
Hmm.
And then learning how to, take a 2x to a 5x to a 10x to a 50x. It was just part of the process.
Hmm.
And now I'm in a position where I can give. And even if I make 1x back, I make 0x back, but it allowed them to get
To,
forward, then I
yep.
care more about the impact. At this point in my life, I care more about impact. I care more about creating opportunities. I feel like if I have access, you have an anchor.
Hmm.
Like
Oh yeah, 100
that's my
100%.
fundamental belief. So it's like
That's
everybody's responsible for doing the work.
I
I'm just
agree.
trying
I
to do my
mean,
part.
but not everybody does that. I mean, and that's why the more I speak to you, I mean, and we didn't know each other before today, other than a few conversations on LinkedIn. The more I hear from you, the more I like you, the more I respect you. You're super cool, and I really
I
it's really,
appreciate you.
and not just the fact that you're not just talking the talk, you're walking the walk, you're doing it. You're actually seeding and helping with funding projects that can change people's lives, which I think
Yeah.
is noble. No, no, it's great. No, noble is not the right word. But, it's amazing that you do that. Um,
I care so much, so much, so much
yeah,
about the impact.
but it shows. It shows, and
But I be wanting to be quiet about it, and then I got people like Keisha snitching on me.
no, but sometimes I mean, especially people that move in silence, they sometimes forget to also realize and take a moment and breathe and touch wood and be like, no, you did this. I always I always make the example that I give is back in the days when in my early teens I worked as a bus boy in a club, and at a certain point in time I started producing R&B parties there. And the manager, white guy who was very much against hip hop music and R&B music, he was like during one of those parties, like leaning back against the wall, looking all kind of mean. And I walked up to him. It's like, is everything okay? Like, oh, I hope I didn't anger the boss. He's like, no, no, no. He grabbed me by the shoulders. He turned me around. They're like, no, take a moment to realize, but you created this. Because of you, all these people are now here. And I think to bring it back to you, it's important. It's important to take a moment sometimes to realize what you did and what you are doing. It's super important because there's not many like you out there, or maybe there are, and they're moving even more in silence, which is great. But I think you deserve your flowers. It's important.
See, this is where I go back to that original slide when you started the show that says my position here informs I think my time in the military taught me to just accomplish things quietly, keep it pushing.
Mm-hmm.
So even when it came to like writing performance reviews for myself, writing the things I did down just felt weird to
I
me.
know that feels.
It's something I have actively been working towards being like, yes, I did this. Yes, I do that. Yes, I do that. Yes. But if you ask me, I'll be like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah, and you did that exactly. Like say it with your chest, that kind of stuff.
I mean, listen, if you know me, if I said it, I meant it. I say everything with my chest. I say everything with my chest twice,
as
two
you should,
times,
because you
two
deserve it.
times.
You deserve it.
And I try to just create access for people. Like I believe in succession planning. We should probably talk about that because this industry needs it more than anything else.
Well, let's go. Let's dive in.
I think the video game industry is sometimes the land of Peter Pan and Never Never Land because
these people, that's what they think, indeed. But we're gonna
yes, they're like I want to use a real game, but I don't want to use the game name because I don't want to like hypothetically speaking, if there is fighting game 1, right? And now fighting game 19 is coming out. And the same people are working on fighting game 19 that worked on fighting game 1. And the people who were born during fighting game 15 want to work on fighting game 19 because it's closer to their generation, their era, and they got great ideas for it.
But they can't get in because these people are still there.
That fighting game 1 crew is still like, no, this is not how we play. It's like, well, this isn't, your generation isn't playing anymore. Y'all are on yachts, retired somewhere. Go be with
No, but it's a good
So
analogy that you're making, the Robin Hood approach, because the people don't, I mean, I think a lot of people that are watching the show, they are either in the industry or want to get in the industry, and they see the industry. Maybe once you've been working in the industry for 20 years, maybe not anymore, but they see it as a kind of dream job. It's a dream position,
yeah,
something as a kid you could only dream of, and now you're
yep.
there, and now you're that dude or that girl doing these things. You're not gonna lose. You're not gonna leave that because no. What if like, I can't no longer be that dude or that person working on this product? You need that fresh blood. You need that injection of new energy, new perspective.
Yes. When I have a 16-year-old, right? And my daughter gives me honest, everyone who has kids, your teenagers will give you honest feedback in real time every single day. If I'm in here working on something, I'm doing a digital piece of art, she'll walk in and she'll be like, that's crazy. Don't do that.
That's not it.
Like, or she'll be like, can you change the colors to make
Mm-hmm.
it more like like, and she uses words that I'm like, what does that even mean? Cool.
Skibbity. Oh, right.
Like literally. And I'm like, okay, cool. But something I thought was important was, hey, baby, everything. All right, you know who Jennifer Lopez is, right? You know who
I'm
Cardi
European.
B is. You know
Who?
who Cardi
What?
B is.
Ow.
Cool. So there was this movie called Hustlers, right? And they're strippers in a club. And at
Mm-hmm.
one point, one of the strippers comes to the bar, and J Lo standing there. She's like, "Let me get a shot of tequila." And J Lo looks and goes, "Do you own stock in this bar?"
Mm-hmm.
And the stripper's like, "No." She's like, "So then why are you giving it your money?" That changed my parenting style for the rest of my. As soon as I had my kid, I was like, anything you
Hmm.
consume, you will own stock in. And then for the things that you overly consume, where you find yourself gravitating to, and I knew early on she was a gamer. She is a gamer. She's a gamer. She's a gamer. How do I teach her the art of gaming? How do I introduce her to the profession of gaming? And then
Mm-hmm.
how do I get out her way to just let her? When I tell you this kid makes some amazing UGC on Roblox, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I made the mistake of telling her, much like you, I curated parties as a young airman, and I would have pay what you weigh parties for men, right? And I would gather all the people of the land, but then the men would have to pay what they weighed on a scale outside to get inside. It's a pay what you weigh party.
I love that.
Because if I'm offering a great product, like a great experience inside, like it should come at a cost.
Yeah.
My child I told her that story one day. She took the same approach. I got her a private Roblox server, and she was like, no, I'm gonna curate an amazing experience in my server, and I'm gonna charge people access. And then that way I can control who's there, who's not there.
Smart though. Super
And for
smart.
me, I feel like that is succession planning in action, because I know
Oh yeah.
that when it's her time to come into the industry, she has the tools. She's ready
Mm-hmm.
because she's been being trained for it her entire life. Like, we have to train this next generation. We have to
100%.
we have to step out the way and just let them take the reins.
Yep.
Let them
No,
do
I
it.
mean,
Give it to
no,
them.
I agree. I mean, I don't have kids, so I can't shape my kid like that. But that's once again one of the reasons why I have this platform, to document these stories so that the kids from now, our colleagues or mentors for later, even can see this and can see these stories and learn from that, and
Yeah.
learn from your mistakes, from your winnings, everything.
People don't like to talk about their failures. I mean, I failed at a lot of things. Like,
You
you
need to
have to
fail.
talk about. You
Hmm.
need to fail. You have to.
Yep.
People don't want to talk about their failure. They want to talk about the successes. They want to highlight the successes, but like, the road to success comes with blisters. It comes with torn feet,
Oh,
shins hurt, shin splints.
broken
Like,
bones, broken
l-
bones, man.
l-
I've been there. I've been
like
there, done that.
let's talk about the road holistically,
Uh
not
huh.
just the end result. Because even the end result, there's a day one patch that comes out as soon as you ship a product.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
so
And then you're like,
it's
oh yeah, it's not as I thought it was. No, but indeed, it's important. I did an interview like a few more years or so ago with a platform called Fuck Up Nights to talk about failures and failing
love it.
upwards. And I've had many. I've had many failures because I always approach my career as, as long as you don't fire me, keep on pushing the bar,
You
because
know
otherwise
what?
there's no growth.
I've been fired. So I've
I've
been
been
fired.
fired too. I mean, been
I've
there,
been I've
done
been
that.
fi- I, my very first branch of service, I was fired for being gay. So when I joined the Marine Corps, I made sure that I approached my sexuality different. Like, I
Hmm.
learned how to hide. And it was a failure. I felt like I failed because I wanted to be in the military. But I also was like, well, I'm not giving up on my dream just because I can't be gay over there. I'm gonna just go be gay quietly over here.
Exactly.
And that's
Failures
fail
open
forward.
up doors. Exactly. Failures open up
Yes.
doors because okay, this door might close. Well, okay, well, let's try something else.
Is
Because if
there a
your goal
window
still
open?
exactly, just go through the window. If the window's closed, go through the wall. If the wall's closed, dig a hole.
Go through the
Unpack.
chimney. We
Ex-
unpack
Yep.
something. There's an opportunity somewhere. Like
Yeah,
just
100%.
historically, I think as a diaspora, we have so many successes that
Mhm.
are so unknown,
Oh yeah.
so unknown.
Oh yeah. But that's why.
So
That's why
yeah,
we need more platforms to share these
I
successes,
love
but
this
also,
platform.
but also the failures. Because I agree, it is important. It's not just it's not just the grass is greener on the other side, and it's all amazing. It's all daisies and these kind of things, and it's not like I'm director of international events. I fly all over the world and have this jetless setter life. No, it's there's the blisters, there's the broken. I broke my thumb by doing my work, that kind of stuff. It's that comes with the territory. Um, Before we wrap up, I do want to touch on your two more things: your
Okay.
doctorate,
Yes.
that you're working on, and
Yes.
your book.
Yes.
Or are they combined?
They are different,
Oh,
completely
perfect.
separate. All right. Boom. So
Boom.
my doctorate, I really wanted to focus on video games as an educational tool. I
Hmm.
really want to be able to like bridge the gap between AAA gaming and education
So
because
important.
there's ingenuity and a power there that could happen that could
Hmm.
really change how the world learns, collaborates, and grows. Easy day.
Hmm.
I say that lightly. I say that optimistically. Easy
Yeah,
day.
that's fine. That's fine.
All right.
Light work.
Light work. I also say I do have I have an endowment at USC School of Cinematic Arts, specifically USC Games, because
Yep.
I want to send students to school to learn how to do this. Right. And it takes a community. So I just tell my friends, donate to my little fund at USC Give, please and thank you. How do I find it? I don't know. Just put in iAsia. There are not too many scholarships named iAsia. You'll find it, I promise.
Hmm.
And then the book. So the book it's called Love Letters to My Daughter. It's my daughter's first birthday I deployed. And I did not know if I was going to live to see her grow up. So I started
Yeah.
writing her letters of things that I want you to know as a young woman because I didn't grow up with a mom. So there were things I wanted her to know. So I just started writing things that I wanted to prepare her for life. It's like, hey, on love, on finances, just on broken hearts, on understanding who you are before you allow someone to tell you who you are. Like I don't
Hmm.
tell my daughter she's good at math. I don't tell her she's bad at math. I say, Jalen, how do you feel about your relationship with math? And I ask her because I don't want to prescribe to her who she is because there are
Hmm.
a lot of parents right now who don't know who their children. They know they have children. I knew by the time I was 6 that I was gay. Let everybody else tell you what they wanted from me and blah blah blah. So for me, my parenting style has always been her tell me who she is and I accept her truth. And then I'm
Hmm.
your tour guide on this life. And if I tell you, hey, if you go in that door, it's gonna be some shit behind that door.
Hmm.
I'm still gonna be here on this other side of the door when you get back, but you have to go through that door by yourself. And that's how we ebb and flow in our relationship. And we have a very close. If you see me with my daughter outside, like it's my little person. So being able to do that, but from the time I knew I was pregnant with her, I had been writing her emails. I had her name, just writing her emails, sending her pictures just along the way. So it all for her 18th birthday, I was like, I'm going to put this all together. And I'm like, I don't want to wait till her 18th birthday. 17th birthday is good enough.
Hmm.
Good is shippable. So I was like, good is shippable.
Yeah,
Ship it.
a B is fine. A B will make me
It's
pass.
it's not even a B, but like a book is never done. You just
I
have
know.
to
Of course, you could.
you
Yep,
just
yep. You
you
just have
just
to
got to
get it out.
ship it. You just got to get it out. So for me, writing that book was really important. And of course, I did a special audio version just for her because there'll be a point in time where I won't be here. And
Hmm.
I want her to hear it in my voice. I want her to hear it how I said it and not her to perceive it through text, through tone, tone through text, because you can
Hmm.
miss the message.
Oh yeah.
So I talk
100%.
directly to her. So yeah. And that's my form of succession planning with my child as well.
I love
I
that.
do it. Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's you must be a great mom. That's so nice. That's so nice. I mean, it must,
Crazy.
but also, it must have been. I'm sorry to go into this one, but it must have also been so difficult for you to go on deployment, leave her when she's 1, not knowing if you'd come back. I can't even imagine.
Several times.
That's
Several times.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's
But
wow.
that's the check that you write. You're willing to write a check up to the price of your life when you know.
Yeah. And thank you for your service on that, because come on now.
Thank you for your support.
At least I can do. At least I can
But
do.
yeah,
It's a wonder. And I wish we had more time. We could keep on talking. All right. Let me find a logical way to wrap this all up.
Let's do it. However you want to wrap this, I'm down. Let's take a ride.
Damn.
Gordon said this is the whole vibe of love.
Yeah, but it is.
Yeah, Gordon is a gem. Gordon gave me really good advice about 2 years ago. He said, "iAsia, you're a rocket. You have to find people who give you fuel in space."
Oh, yeah. And he was talking about that last week as well. The space analogy. Yep.
Yes. Oh, thank you, Crystal and Gordon, for putting the link in the chat. But that's all I want to do. Impact.
So where's the spaceship going? What's the goal? Is there a goal, or is it just continue onwards?
There is a goal. Shortly I'll announce where I'm landing. But okay. Right now I am enjoying the ride. I've just been enjoying the process. Mm-hmm. The doctoral process will show you.
Oh man, I know.
I'm
so happy that I've had that. That was like years ago.
Send help.
Oh my God.
It will show you.
It needs a village. I needed a village in order to make it happen.
Yes. That's why it's been beautiful having, my best friend alongside the ride, because I was like, look, we are going together. So we've been on this journey together. And
oh man, yes, it's important.
However, I can continue to show up for the community. I tell everybody my DMs are open. If you have my phone number, you can call me, you can text me, you can do all the things. And yeah, if I tell people I'm not the plug, I'm the power strip. I will connect you, but don't expect to get all it from me.
It's also a good one. Not the plug, but a power strip.
Yeah, I'm not the plug, I'm the power strip.
You dropped a lot of gems. I might steal some of them in my own presentations moving forward.
Listen, this is a community of giving. We continue to give. Absolutely.
Man, I would love to have you back once. I think there's so much more that I'd love to explore. Just your vision in general, like your vision of game creation and storytelling. I think there's so much more to explore. I think. Maybe I should change this format to be a little bit longer. Yeah, no, please.
I got you. I have something coming, and when I'm ready to unveil it, I'll make sure you get like the exclusive.
So, ooh, I love that. I'll take that.
We amplify.
That's what we do indeed, and I'm here to amplify it as well.
I appreciate you.
Oh, likewise. The chat's going crazy today. I like it. It's nice. I remember the first week.
Thank you, Connor.
That's it. Hey, but indeed, there's a lot of poetry here. But but I think poetry is a good way to remember things. It's like, it's like, it sounds nice. Let me write this down in my memory and take it for another moment. Anyway, rambling again. I appreciate you. It was fun. It was another fun conversation. For the people watching and engaging. By the way, first of all, if you have any questions, we're still here. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a question in the chat. I just see a lot of compliments and Gordon pushing your profile. Let me see.
And there goes Angela in the chat.
Yep, Angela in the chat.
You got Christian.
Yeah, Gordon. You got Chase.
Mark is in London.
Rosemary. Yeah, I know Mark will also be featured.
We love Chase. This is a Chase Stan account right here. Chase, I'm gonna see you at GDC. I'm gonna get my annual hug.
I'm so bummed out
Dr. McClinton. Listen,
Linda McClinton. Yep.
It's been Keisha Howard, founder.
She needs to come on the show as well. Keisha, come on.
Keisha hasn't been on the show.
No, she's just like you. She's the the connector. She connects me
Keisha
to other
Howard
people.
needs to be on the show. There, list of people. Actually, I will. And I think as far as the global audience, there's some great global people. I think
Mhm.
Eram needs to be on the show. Eram needs to be on the show. Olivier needs to be on the show.
I
Joseph
mean,
needs.
but that's the cool thing with a platform like this. It's like because when I was thinking about doing this, I was looking in my network, and my network is pretty extensive in gaming. And it's like, okay, I already have like 50 people that I could feature just with the people that I know in my network. And then I
Yeah.
started doing research. It's like, this is just my God, I can do a weekly show and do this for 3 years straight without ever running out of profiles.
Listen, Gordon said you can do this live at GDC 2027, Gamescom. I dare you to come to DreamCon, Texas. Let's do it. July, Houston.
I was actually talking to someone about a DreamCon. I mean, I would love to. The issue, no, not the issue. There's no issues. The challenge is always because I'm imported for Ubisoft. It's a bit of a gray area when
Fair.
I move to other locations. I can I can separate it. That's not a problem because I'm also talking to the people from the Con Lions to do it in person this year as well. But that's indeed one of my goals. How can I bring the show to an in-person forum, like a panel conversation,
Listen,
either GDC,
if you ever
Gamescom?
need a proxy, let me know, and I will take care of it for you, because this is too important for you not to be able to be in the spaces. And you know what? I pray that your platform outgrows your corporate structure, and you just
That is the plan. I'm actually, if you're okay with that, Aisha, I'll share this as well with Gordon. I have this kind of like idea of where this platform could go. I would love to get your input.
where it will go.
Where it will go. Thank you, indeed.
Yeah,
Indeed.
we talking affirmations around these here parts.
That is true. Sometimes I'm a Dutch guy. I have difficulties being like, yes, this is what we will do. It's more of a timid, like, we might, maybe yes, maybe no. But I know,
See,
there's
look, everybody's affirming. Pull up to DreamCon. Pull up to DreamCon. We can set it up. We can set it up at DreamCon. I'll get Kendall King on the phone today.
okay. Game speed in Maine,
Christine said
LA.
GamesBeat.
Yep, yep. I'm also talking to. Well, actually, I want to talk to Jeff Keighley to do something at the Summer Game Fest as well. I like
I
big
saw him at the
stages.
Super Bowl. Look. Let's do it. Big stage.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. All the stages.
Audacious. Be as audacious as you need to be, and
Yeah,
the community will support you.
that is. First of all, that's wonderful to hear. That's beautiful to hear. Actually, that's nice. Almost makes me a little bit emotional. Because sometimes it feels like you're doing this. You're pulling this card by yourself, and I like that. I mean, I like being a one man army. But it's great to see that it resonates. It's great to
Can I
see that it's
offer
not.
some reframing?
Please.
So, don't think that you're pulling the car by yourself. Think that you're sitting in the car, steering it in neutral, and we're behind you pushing it.
Yeah, I can feel that, which is it's a weird but wonderful feeling for
And
someone
the
for
more of
some
us
for someone who
pushing,
operates in the shadows. It's interesting to see and to feel indeed and see the support in the chat. It's great. I mean, that's why I started this because I want to do something for the community, with the community, by the community, not for
you're
my own
doing it.
glory.
You're doing
Yeah, I
it.
am.
Didn't Gordon
True.
tell you last week you're doing it? Gordon said you're
True.
doing it.
Indeed,
So
I'm doing it.
talking,
Right.
I am doing something. I want to do. You're doing it.
We're doing it.
Leon, I told you this is the affirmation station. Like, you're not, I'm gonna affirm you because I already know you're doing it. Every
Fair
time you
enough.
put your little head down, I'm gonna be like, no, you're doing it. Like, come on, you got this. It's a multiplayer game.
Indeed, yeah, Gordon. I thought about you that quote a lot. That's a great
Yes,
quote. I mean, it's so obvious, but still, it's like yeah.
it
Sometimes
is.
just finding the right words, the poetic words, to anchor it, it's important. And the DreamCon convention, yeah,
Let's see.
let's see if we can make it happen. If not this year, then next year. But yes, that's
Let's see how we make it happen.
okay. Once again,
I'm taking you out of the possibility. No, we're gonna do it. Now it's just about. This is episode 12. This is what Gordon said. This is episode 12.
That's actually episode 14 because we had two Black History Month specials that I didn't really count into the. Anyway, 14 episodes, 14 hours of great content.
Hey,
Indeed, Chase. It starts with I am.
yes.
I am Leon. I am Leon.
Yes.
All right.
I love the evil realization laugh.
Dun dun dun. Sometimes
Yeah.
but it's funny because sometimes you forget who you are, kind of like I was like, oh yeah, I am that dude.
I am that. Yeah, you that
It's like,
too.
it's like,
But
oh
it's
yeah,
nice to see you go back to joy.
yeah, because it's fun. It's just fun. It's and once again, I'm not doing this for my own personal, thing. It's fun to have these conversations and share these conversations
Lee,
with people.
you are doing this for your own personal thing because it's personally important to you. And it's okay to say that.
Yeah, but fair enough. But it's not for my own personal stage. It's neat. It's
Yeah.
important for me to have these conversations, but it's not about like blowing smoke up my own ass.
If someone mentioned TEDx
Oh,
talks, let's do it.
yeah.
Happy. I probably do think I need it's probably TEDx talk time. And then once I publish my dissertation, it'll be TED Talk time. So
I
let's do
can't wait.
this.
Can't wait to see that.
Thank you.
And
I will.
can't
I
wait.
will do it.
Yeah, I know you will. I can't wait to see where your ship is going, where your journey is gonna take you, and I'm definitely gonna follow the journey. I might even
Same. And
throw in
if
some
I can be
fuel.
of support, if I
But
can be of
likewise,
support to anybody, I got you. And I
yeah,
don't offer things I can't sustain.
that's also a good learning. Some people offer things that they can't sustain because they speak from just passion, but not per se logic, and they want to give the world, but they don't have the world to give. I'm not saying that you have the world to give, but I have the feeling indeed you will not bullshit. You said, no, if I help you with this, I'll help you with this.
Nah, you know what? Gordon had to teach me to slow down. Like
You did too
I will
much.
say,
You're
Gordon.
yeah,
Well, I could burn the candle from the whole
yeah.
candle. Like I'll stick candles in the candle and just burn the candle down.
Uh-huh.
So like
Candleception.
I've
Yep.
I've had people around me to be like, look, everybody don't deserve you. Pull back.
Mhm.
What is your purpose? And stay focused on the purpose. And if someone asks you to do something and it does not align to your purpose, I start with no now. I now when people ask me for things, I start with no because I can
I'm,
walk back a no. I can't walk
yeah.
back a yes. And I try to
I'm
see
getting there. I'm
and
getting.
and when I do that, it's like, well, if I say no, who would be the best person I can empower? Who can I elevate into this position now to be able to do that? And that's where succession planning comes along. Where it's
Mhm.
like, you know what? While I understand, I've already trained someone for this. I would love to introduce you to this person and give them the opportunity. And then that's how we start to elevate the community in other ways. Like I could do everything, but what's the point in me doing I'm good at everything I do. Full stop.
Mhm.
I know
I
this.
love I love that you
And
say
I
that.
and I don't say it from a place of cockiness. I'm very confident in my abilities, but I love to teach.
Mhm.
So it's the next generation's time.
I totally agree. You give me a lot of food for thought. I like that. It's great. It's
I
great.
appreciate you.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Anywho, I'm processing. It's end of the day for me, so my brain is processing a little bit slower. But this was. Thank you for sharing this.
Well, thank you
Final
for your
question.
lesson.
Final
Let's
question.
go.
Final
Let's
question.
go.
Pointing
Let's
fingers
go.
at two cameras and stuff.
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's say, you know, people, kids, whoever watches this interview, this session 5 years from now.
Mhm.
What is the one thing that you hope that they take away from this, from you, from your energy, from your being?
You're not alone. Remember, if the minute you start to feel like you are pulling the car by yourself, remember the car is in neutral. You are holding the steering wheel. The people you curate in your life are behind you pushing it. Now, how
That's
you cultivate relationships will determine how fast or slow you go. But even one person pushing that car will get you further than you pulling it by yourself.
100%. But how do you take the blinders off? Because life has the tendency to put the blinders on so you have hyper focus on what's in front of you, but not the people that are helping you or the people that are sitting next to you in the car.
Blinders are an illusion. You can see with your eyes closed. You, you asked, I answered.
I love it.
That's an
Hey, I agree.
that's
I
an illusion.
agree.
Ray
Yeah.
Charles never cared about blinders. His vision was beyond sight,
Damn.
as is Stevie Wonder's.
Damn.
So,
Damn.
what are blinders to the blind? Nothing.
Hmm.
Shade. It's invisible shade that they don't even recognize. They can't actualize blinders because what is a blinder?
True. Very true. So indeed, it's a choice.
It's a choice.
Wow. Damn. I agree with Chuck. I agree with Chuck that indeed we would need a part two of this conversation. I mean, now we're just getting started. It's like shit. Now we're getting all philosophic.
What the-
Well, I'm gonna release you into the world. Also, release the people that are watching. Yeah, keep that drive if you want to watch more. I like that. It's more like don't give them everything they want. Give just stop at the
just enough.
highlight.
I
Exactly.
got you.
Just
I got you.
little taste, little sprinkling. No, really, iAsia. Thank you. This was dope,
I appreciate you.
and I like the fact that we had a conversation. Yes, it was an interview. Yes, I asked you some standard questions, but we had a conversation. And I appreciate you giving that and not just sticking to the script.
I
We didn't have a
appreciate
script, but the imaginary script. Anywho, um, thank you for the people watching. Next week on, let me see which day. Give me 2 seconds. I have it open somewhere. I should have it
Is it the
open.
third? Is it another Wednesday?
I don't know. I should know that. The 5th, Thursday the 5th.
Gotcha.
We have Bukola Akinbade from Kucheva Gaming and one of the founders of Lagos Games Week, who will join and speak on what's happening in Nigeria because, well, you already know that, but there is so much going on.
So
And
much.
this is just one element. And I wanted to make sure that this platform also highlights people that are operating on a global level, or not per se global level, on not just a either European or US level, because there's so much more of the diaspora people doing amazing things.
I appreciate you.
And I appreciate you. Thank you everybody for watching. Once again, thank you, iAsia. I appreciate you. And this was Black Game Pro Sessions. And I'm Leon. I'm him.
Fight on.
Yes, yes.